أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا ونبينا وشفيع ذنوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. My dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. اللهم اجعل ما نقوله ونفعله خالصا لوجهك الكريم. إلهنا نعوذ بجلال وجهك الكريم أن ينقضي عنا شهر رمضان أو يطلع الفجر من ليلتنا هذه ولك قبلنا ذنب أو تبعة تعذبنا عليها. First of all, I'd like to thank the hosts and the family who made the iftar today. May Allah Azza wa Jal reward them with the best of rewards, inshallah, in this dunya and in the akhirah. And may Allah Azza wa Jal accept your deeds. Inshallah, the next few nights are planned as follows, inshallah. So today we'll have something more interactive. Tomorrow we'll go back to lecture style, and then during the Layali of Qadr, we'll be having short talks, like 10-15 minutes. I'll tackle something related to Imam Ali alayhi salam, and we'll have the Azab, and then mostly the deeds that we will be performing together, inshallah. And then after that, we'll go back to interactive lecture, something like that. So the topic that I chose for tonight is as follows. I'll be asking a few questions to see what you have. I will write them down on this board once Brother Zain gets us the pen. And then from there we'll continue until we reach a conclusion. And then I will share like the final conclusion. But in this way we can have back and forth together, inshallah, so everyone can be engaged. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Source it out?
Yeah.
Sort it out?
Purchase it.
Okay, no problem. We don't have to, but I'm just saying it would be more convenient. Anyway, I'll start off with, I'll ask you a bunch of questions and then we'll move forward from there. So the first question would be, thank you, why did Allah Azza wa Jal create us? What would you say? There's no need for evidence now. I'll ask that in the second step. Why did Allah Azza wa Jal create us?
To worship it.
To worship. Let me just write that down so we can see. Like, this is not the best pen, yeah?
Really? Actually,
So the question says, why did He create us? Right? So we have one answer. To worship. Type, this is one. Who has another answer? Allahu Akbar. Only voice. Type.
It's a test, so if we go to heaven or hell.
Test. Alright. What else do we have? To do good deeds. Type, what else? To be trial? It doesn't show, does it?
use the red one, Sheikh.
Does it?
Use the red one.
Well, there's no responses from the sister side. Alright. Yellow. So Islam can spread further. طيب. Let's just say Islam. طيب. And then the last one, and then we'll take some from here.
So people can know him.
So people can know him. Nice. What's your name? Sorry? Bilal? Milad? Okay, cool. What do you have? To believe in the Imams and Prophets. Alright. طيب, somebody else was raising their hand. Who was it? Second row, you with the red, right? Queen. You had something to say? She doesn't want to anymore, it's okay. طيب, sure, you have another response? All good? What? طيب. So we have to worship him as a test, to do good deeds, to be trial, for Islam to spread, to know him, and to believe in the Imams and the Prophets. طيب, who of you can back any of these up with a verse or a narration? Like, do we have evidence on that, on these? Who knows a verse or a narration that could strengthen one of these? Yes. So you would put that verse and this one for Islam to spread. Really, why? Okay. Okay, why wouldn't you put it here? To worship him. لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Oh, you can't see it, yeah? Alright. So let's put the verse in here. We have an ayah that backs this up, right? وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْإِنسَ وَالْجِنَّ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. Right? So to worship. طيب. What about the other ones? You can cheat, it's fine. You can just open the Quran. It's not a test, like there's no marks. We have an ayah that speaks about this as well, right? وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. Alright, we could put that here. But there's a more clear verse. لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Right? To see, like, test, good deeds. We have verses that speak about this as well. Right? For Islam to spread, we could probably say, إِنَّ الدِّينَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ الْإِسْلَامِ. Right? It's also a verse from the Quran. So we could have backup for this as well. Like, this is interesting. To know him, right? Who knows how to back this up? This was said by Brother Milad, right? Like, who knows how to back this up? We have a narration from Imam al-Sadiq. Does anyone know it? Okay. This goes back to this. In the narration, when he wants to do tafsir, the Imam, he says, the verse that says, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْإِنسَ وَالْجِنَّ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, Imam al-Sadiq says, أي لِيَعْرِفُونَ. أي لِيَعْرِفُونَ. Because there is no ibadah without ma'rifah, without knowing him. Hello, we have other narrations that are weak, that say كنت كنزا مخفيا فأحببت أن أعرف فخلقت الخلق لكي أعرف. Right? So Allah is saying basically, I was a hidden treasure, something like this, if I wanted to translate it word by word, and I wanted to be known, so I created the creation to be known. To be known. We have this narration. Right. Allah, for the belief in the Imams and the Prophets is also valid. But unfortunately we don't have anything that backs it up like the way it is. But al-ibadah, which goes back to ma'rifah, because you cannot worship something that you do not know, correct? So we have al-ibadah. I want to write this down because this is the first point that I will speak about in a little bit, which is very important. But before we reach that, let's go from this question to another question first. We have Iblis, correct? Do you know who Iblis is? Who knows who Iblis is? Shaitan. She said shaitan. Let's see. So shaitan. But what's the difference between Iblis and Shaitan? Who knows? Is there any difference? You're dangerous. What's up? So it's like one person with two names. This is what you would say? Okay.
Iblis was living with the angels in Jannah and worshiping Allah. And then when Allah threw him out of Jannah, he was the shaitan of
Okay, so interesting. The sister is saying that Iblis was the one who was worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal with the angels, and then when Allah threw him out of Jannah, then he became Shaitan. But basically it's the same one, right? طيب, interesting. Who has something else? Because we read in the Quran, Shaitan, we read Shayateen, right? And then we read Iblis. Allah tells us Iblis. يقولون للملائكة اسجدوا لآدم إلا إبليس. He didn't say إلا الشيطان, right? So is there a difference? No. Is it just two names for one? Malik al-Ashtar. Okay. But Iblis is what? The worst. Okay, so he's saying anyone could be a shaitan, but Iblis is the worst. Which is interesting. Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Saying that shaitan is the term that they use to describe the characteristics of Iblis.
Okay. Okay, cool. Interesting. Alright, you. You forgot? طيب.
Iblis was the angel and Shaitan the one who was kicked out and then he became Shaitan.
Okay. Interesting but wrong. Well, I can tell you wrong because for sure Iblis was not an angel, right?
Like he was like it.
He was like an angel. So okay, I'll accept that for now. But you had your hand up. Sure. No, behind you.
So please.
Okay.
Grandmaster.
He's the grandmaster. That's not wrong, by the way. That's not wrong. Yeah. What about you? Okay, interesting. All right, let's move forward. Let's reveal it. So, Iblis is a shaitan, right? But he is the head of the shayateen, like you guys said already. But we have multiple shayateen, right? We have shayateen al-ins wal-jinn, according to the Quran. So, shaitan is an attribute, right? So, just like how we have multiple angels, it's a jins, we call it in mantiq, in logic, right? If somebody is very good, has good manners, good akhlaq, like this brother right here, he's sitting, I would call him, look at this angel. You're an angel, right? But if somebody is constantly moving around, making trouble, etc., we call him, look at this little shaitan, right? No shayateen in here, don't worry. I'm just saying, so shaitan is the attribute. We have shayateen al-ins, we have shayateen al-jinn. Just like when it comes to the angels, we have Jibreel, alayhi salam, right? We have Israfil, we have Mikael, we have Ridwan, we have Malik. We have all these different types of angels, right? And then when it comes to the shayateen, we have different types of shayateen. We have Iblis, which is the head and the master of shayateen. But we have also other shayateen. Al-Waswas al-Khannas is a different shaitan than Iblis. Right? So we have multiple shayateen, not only one shaitan. So this is very important to know. Like from this question, I'd like to go somewhere else. It's all connected, by the way. So this question is related to this, to everything. I will connect the dots later on, okay? What was Iblis' main problem and issue? Right. We have takabbur.
He didn't like human being. He didn't suit to the human.
He didn't like us.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
He had a problem with us.
Yes.
And a good thing he's locked away. He cannot do anything now, but on Eid Day he will come for us. Now he's not here. طيب, تكبر. طيب, what else?
Doesn't like Allah because he didn't want to be the first set. But he wasn't a prophet, and then he was the opposite of Allah.
Okay. Interesting, but no. Okay. Like this one didn't work out. This one was really good from you. This was good to know him. I don't know where you got this from, but it was really good. Okay.
Disobedient.
Sorry?
Disobedient.
Disobedient. All right. Disobedience. I like the word disobedient. Let's just put it in here. Disobedience. We're getting closer to where I want to go, so I like this because you're following me, and I like that we're reaching the point I want to reach naturally. Yes.
He tries to make people do bad things, like
Yeah, but back then, what was his issue with Allah Azza wa Jal?
because he wanted to he said he was better than Prophet Adam because he was made out of fire and Prophet Adam
Ahsan,
was made
very
out
good.
of mud and clay. So he was I don't know.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's very good. So it goes back to arrogance, takabbur. He saw himself better than Adam, right? He saw himself better than Adam. Right, what do you want to say? Sorry? Yeah, arrogant and proud, okay. Okay. What about you? Sure, now you're thinking? Okay, what do we have?
Shaitan said to Prophet Allah just saying this because he doesn't want you.
MashaAllah.
And then Hawa and Prophet Adam took a bite of it and Allah sent them to
Okay, interesting. So the sister is telling us the whole story, what happened, Adam and Hawa in paradise, and how Iblis came and he lied to them. Right? What do you have to say? Jealousy? Okay, let's say envy. Envy instead of jealousy. Basically, very similar. But envy is very good. The Quran says it as well. Okay? I'll take that for now, and so we can move forward to the next one. So, the key word is disobedience. Okay, this is the key word by the Hajj that she mentioned. And then we have ibadah. I'll translate that to English and put it under it, right? Just like, let's name it worship. Worship. Just by the way, on the side, this is not related to where I want to go, just to open a small branch before I continue with this, because somebody mentioned that there's a fight between Allah and Iblis, or Allah and Shaitan, right? Somebody mentioned that. But, just to correct something, there is no real fight between Allah and Shaitan. There is no real fight. Because Shaitan was created by Allah. Like in movies, we see that Allah is up here, Shaitan is down here, and they fight each other, and we wait who is going to win. No. Shaitan is created by Allah Azza wa Jal. He's one of Allah's servants, creations. Allah, if He said kun, Shaitan wouldn't exist anymore. Okay, so it's not a real fight. Allah will always win. Just for you to know, to have that in the back of your head. Okay? It's not Allah against Shaitan. Shaitan is just a creation. He's mumkin al-wujud. Right? He could just disappear like that. So this is a wrong idea when we think that Allah is fighting against Shaitan and Shaitan is fighting back and this is like a real battle. It's not a real battle. Allah just gave him a reward for what he did and He told him you can stay until the day of judgment. Let's go back to this. let's just remove disobedience for now. Just have obedience and worship. The two main words that we want to speak about tonight, very important. So, what is the difference between obedience and worship? Obedience and worship. Okay, we're going higher in the level, guy. Even for the elder ones to be aware. What is the difference between obedience and worship? So in Arabic, this would be ubudiyya, and this would be ibadah. Okay, so what is the difference between ibadah and ubudiyya? I can tell you from now, it's a massive difference. Yes.
Worship is like praying to someone or God, and obedience is like listening to Him.
So praying and listening. Shall I take that? Okay, let's do it. Okay, do I have something to relate? Okay. Let me just write these down, because this is like the main point that I want to speak about. Meanwhile, you can think about good answers.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
Let me just put it here. Should be visible for everyone. Right. So we have obedience and we have worship. So when the brother said obedience would be to listen, and this would be to pray. Right? Something like that. So, what else do we have? Yes?
Obedience is submission. That you forget yourself and just submit everything to Allah, that you don't question.
Okay. So submission. Okay. And worship.
Worship is this to praise.
Praise. There's no submission in worship.
There is, but there is a difference. If you only worship and don't submit to what Allah says, then it means there's arrogance, like Shaitan has. But
Okay.
if you submit and worship, then it becomes a true obedience. Like, yeah, if they both come together, then it means that you're a true believer.
Okay. Okay. So you would say Iblis' problem was here or here?
Worship only, no obedience.
So his problem was here.
Yeah, obedience.
Okay. Let's say like that. His problem was an obedience problem, not a worship problem. Okay. What else do we have? Don't be shy. There's nothing wrong that you can say. Yes.
Obedience means like not ignoring people when they're trying to say something to you and listen to somebody else when they and worship means like hoping someone will interrupt or something.
Okay. But who can give me a few examples on, let's say, obedience and worship? You can make the difference clear through examples. It doesn't have to be like something else. Yes.
Maybe obedience, like this order being given by Allah, but worship, the performing of the performing it really, like is much more stronger.
Obedience, ibadah, worship, you mean?
Yeah, obedience is much stronger than ibadah.
Okay. So, obedience is stronger than ibadah. Okay, I like that. Who would say that Iblis' problem was obedience, not ibadah? You can raise your hand. We can do a vote. So, all right. Who would say his problem was like a worship problem, ibadah problem? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So why? Those who said obedience, why was his problem an obedience problem? And those who say ibadah, why was his problem an ibadah problem? Right? So Hajj said ibadah. So I would like to listen to that. Why is it a worship problem?
I said both, in fact. I
For both. Oh, okay.
Because while he's not submitting to the order of Allah to give Adam, he didn't do submission, and also this part of it was ibadah. So both of them, so he's issued both that way.
Okay, interesting.
Hajj, he's the shaker. He's a shaker there.
The Hajj? Halla, we'll find out. Yes. Kafar? So this is why you said worship or obedience? So he had a problem with both. طيب. Okay. Okay. All right, let's move forward then. Let me reveal what I want to reveal and speak about the main idea for tonight, which is the difference between ibadah and ubudiyya, or worship and obedience. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So worship basically is like salah, like sawm, like hajj, right? This is what we mean by worship. Obedience is ta'ah, is to submit, to obey, right? This is what it is. The main difference between them is that we need what our goal is, what we want, what we should have is obedience. This is the most important thing, not worship and ibadah. Let me tell you why. Because in some cases, obedience and ubudiyya require not to worship. Okay? How? It sounds weird, I know, but once I give you a few examples, it will be clear. So, in some cases, you have to show obedience, and obedience would require for you not to worship. Like how? Who can give me a clear example? Very clear. Yes.
The first is when we're traveling out of Canada for 3 days, we have
Okay. Okay, another more clear example. Where you, out of obedience, don't fast, for example.
Because your parents won't say you. So being obedient towards your parents, that's
Okay.
obedience.
Okay.
Not worshipping Allah. Not worshipping.
Hala, this one doesn't work. Because that one specifically, this doesn't work. I'll tell you why in a bit. But another more clear example.
Not to fast on Eid day.
On Eid day? Okay, but we have something that's more clear where people fight it, right? They want to, but they're not allowed to. Like when somebody is old and tired and the doctor tells them you are not allowed to fast because this doctor is a knowledgeable doctor that we trust, etc. And the doctor says you are not allowed to fast, fasting will harm you, and you find some of them insist, no, I want to fast, right? It's because they want to worship. But it is not about worshipping, it's about obedience and ubudiyya and ta'ah. And this is what Iblis' problem was mainly. Because Allah Azza wa Jal, He told him, when Allah says, مَا خَلَقْتُ الْإِنسَ وَالْجِنَّ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ أي لِيَعْرِفُونَ, He wants worship, but out of obedience. Not worship because for the love of worship. Because this was Iblis' main problem. Right? Allah told him, prostrate to Adam. He told him, Ya Allah, I will prostrate to you. Okay, I will prostrate to you. And He told him in narrations, if you remove your command, you remove your order for me to prostrate to Adam, I will worship you like no one else did. No prophet, no angel. I will worship you. And Allah told him, you know what? I want to be worshipped the way as I wish, the way I desire, not the way you see best. So I want you to worship me through prostrating to Adam, right? Even though, if you look at it from outside perspective, you might think that Iblis is worshipping Adam because he's doing sujood to Adam. prostration is the highest form of ibadah, right? You will find our scholars, our maraja, they all say you are not allowed to do sujood to anyone. Even when you visit the shrine of Imam Hussein, you are not allowed to do sujood for Imam Hussein. It's not allowed. You do sujood lillah only. And even in this case, Allah Himself is telling Iblis, you do sujood to Adam. And he didn't obey. So his problem was, he didn't show obedience. Same thing with those who left Imam al-Hussein, right? Our scholars say that some of them left Imam al-Hussein because they thought, I have to go perform Hajj, worship, ibadah, right? Even though what they had to do was obedience and ta'ah for the Imam of their time. Because this is sometimes how Iblis gets to us. He will tell you, you know what, worship, pray, fast, etc. But don't show obedience. Some people worship because they like to worship. They feel good. I feel good when I pray. So he worships his own feeling, not Allah Azza wa Jal. Sometimes when the Quran tells you, or Allah tells you, or the narrations, or the marja, you have to pray, not full prayer. You have to cut it short, qasr. They will say, I want to pray full. But it's not up to you how you want to pray, what you feel, what you want. It is how you worship Allah the way He wants to be worshipped, right? And this is why sometimes when it comes to our Sunni brothers and sisters, they come and they question us. Why do you do tawassul through Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam? Allah exists, Allah is near, He can listen to us. Why would I ask somebody else? Why would I ask the Prophet? Why would I ask the Imam? Ma Allah qareeb, yujibu da'wat al-da'i, right? We tell them, yes, He is qareeb. Yes, He will respond. But we worship Allah Azza wa Jal the way He wants to be worshipped. And He told us, I want you to come through Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Because often we have these discussions and then I just tell them the story of Iblis, right? I tell them, look, I'm just asking Allah Azza wa Jal through Imam Ali, through Sayyidah Zahra, through the Imam. I'm asking Allah through them. I tell them, Ya Allah bihaqqi Ali, Ya Allah bihaqqi al-Husayn, right? And I go to the shrine and I touch it, etc. And I ask Allah Azza wa Jal. So this is nothing compared to doing sujood and prostration. Allah Azza wa Jal told Iblis, do sujood. He didn't tell him, ask me through him. He told him something which is more important, more relevant, sujood. We're not doing sujood for the Imam, we're just asking through the Imam, right? So I tell them, tell me what Iblis did. Was it right or was it wrong? Because Iblis, he had this mindset. He told Allah Azza wa Jal, I will worship you, I will do sujood to you, I don't want to do sujood to Adam. And some people come and say, I will only ask Allah, I don't want to ask anyone else. Right? Same mindset. We tell them, we worship Allah the way He wants to be worshipped. He said, these are my beloved ibad and creation and servants, I want you to ask me through them. So this is why we ask them. So basically what people mistake, what they don't understand, is that this is us, we go back to Allah Azza wa Jal, and Allah Azza wa Jal tells us, go back to the Prophet, to the Imams, and then come back to me. This is how it is. People think we go to the Imam and then we go to Allah, but it's wrong. We only ask the Prophet, the Imams, because in the first place we go to Allah, and He says, these are my servants, come back to me through them. This is how it is. It's always Allah. It's always Allah, first and foremost. Allah, if I was to ask you, why would you go do ziyarah, why do you think that Imam Hussein is even ma'soom? Because you will go back with the evidence that the Prophet is ma'soom. He is infallible. And why is the Prophet infallible? Because of the Quran. Why the Quran? Because it was sent down by Allah Azza wa Jal. And the only reason why we believe in imamah is because we believe in tawheed in the first place. Right? We don't start our aqa'id with imamah. We start aqa'id with tawheed. Allah's existence, etc. Then we go down, Quran, prophecy, then we reach imamah. And we worship Allah the way He wants to be worshipped. So we are showing obedience and ta'ah, always. So we worship Allah the way He wants to be worshipped. So, to go back to Iblis and his story, I ask those who come and question us why we do things we do them. I tell them, you tell me, was it right? Was it what Iblis did or no? And then if they tell you it was right what Iblis did, tell them Salamu Alaikum and move forward. Because if they as Muslims tell you it was right what he did, we have a big problem, right? And in the Quran, then it means if it was right what he did, yani Allah Azza wa Jalla was wrong. Wal-iyadhu billah. It doesn't work, correct? If they tell you what Iblis did was wrong, then you have them in the corner. You tell them, why was it wrong? Tell me, why was it wrong what Iblis did? What was wrong exactly? What was his mistake? Right? And then they will have to tell you that he didn't obey Allah, he didn't listen to Allah. And then tell them, Ajib, you know what? Now he said, Ya Allah, I want to worship you, I will worship you, I will do sujood to you. But the problem was Allah didn't want that. Allah told him, I want you to do sujood to Adam, a creation, just like you, just like me. Because this is what they tell us, right? They tell us, why would you ask a creation like you? He's created like you. That's it. Okay, but Allah, He told Iblis, do sujood to Adam. He is a creation, just like him, right? And he disobeyed. This was his main problem. So, the main goal that we need to achieve and train ourselves and have is obedience, not worship, right? If obedience requires to worship, amazing, you worship. If obedience requires something else, you do something else. If obedience requires to come to the mosque, you come to the mosque. If obedience requires to go support your Muslim brothers and sisters, you go, you support them, right? Because the fuqaha, there's so many examples I can mention. There's two actually. Let me mention these. Inshallah, I'll finish off because maybe I took long, right? You're bored? No one's bored? Shall we go till Fajr? Yeah? Prepare school, please. I'm just kidding. Yeah, you just want to skip school, right? There's no school tomorrow anyways. There's two examples. One time I saw somebody, myself, it was Thursday night, and he wanted to go listen to Dua Kumayl. But he received a phone call from his mother that his mother needs help. And he was upset. He was so upset. Like, I want to listen to Dua, I don't want to go pick her up, I don't want to do this. And then I showed him, why do you want to listen to Dua? Out of obedience for Allah Azza wa Jal? If that is the case, go and support your mother, help your mother, because this is what Allah wants. He knows you would love to listen to Dua. But in this case, your mother needs you, go to your mother, right? Well, in some cases, we have people who just want to worship for the sake of worshiping. Just that. He wants to listen to Dua, just to listen to Dua because it makes him feel good. Not out of obedience. If it was out of obedience, he would behave in a different way. Let's say Friday, Jum'ah prayer, right? And then somebody needs a haja from you. And no one can do it except you. Your brother, your sister, whoever it is. And then you should be happy to go help them and support them if there's no other way. And if it is only either Salatul Jum'ah or you help your brother and sister or whatever, your parent, you would happily go help them because this is obedience to Allah Azza wa Jal. He told you, be there for them. Qada hajj al-mu'min is important, etc. So I think you get the idea, you get the gist of it. So what we want is obedience. Ta'a lillah. If it requires ibadah, amazing. If it doesn't, amazing. Right? Because if we train ourselves just to worship, Iblis worshipped Allah for 6,000 years. 6,000, Imam Ali says, we don't know. أَمِنْ سَنِيِّ الدُّنْيَا أَمِنْ سَنِيِّ الْآخِرَةِ. We don't know if these 6,000 years were from the dunya years or from the akhirah years. So imagine he worshipped 6,000 years, he reached the stage, the level of the angels, and then this happened to him. He was al-mal'un al-rajim. So it's not purely or only about ibadah. It is about ibadah out of obedience, which Iblis lacked, and which Allah Azza created us for, to show obedience. And this is the problem that we have, to finish it off with the Imam of our time. People say we have so many believers, so many Muslimin all over the world, we are 2 billion, right? Why doesn't Imam Mahdi come back now? We have many people who say, I'm Muslim, who worship, who pray, who go to Hajj, but how many of them are really willing to show obedience? This is the difference. This is the difference. And we have this in the narrations. If you look at it during the time of Imam al-Sadiq, when his companion came and told him, now it's the time to rise and go and fight, he told him no. The Imam told him, I don't have many people. He told him, but we're 100,000. He told him, go into that fire, go into that tanur. He told him, Maulana, why do you want me to go into that fire? I will support you, I will fight with you. He told him, go into that fire. He didn't go. He told him, please, don't let me do this. And then Hisham came, Husham, his name, his companion. He told him, Ya Husham, udkhul at-tanur, go into that fire. He didn't even question the Imam. He just went into the fire. And he sat in that tanur. And then the Imam told him, if I had 5 like him, I would rise and stand up. 100,000, he didn't have 5 like him. So what we need to have for the Imam to come back is obedience, is ta'ah. Without obedience, the Imam knows he's going to come, he's going to find many people who pray, who fast, but are they willing to sacrifice? Allahu A'lam. Right? Once we train ourselves to have obedience, then the Imam will come back. Alright? Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa alihi al-Tahirin.